Hey there, what's up people? I am Hassanul Islam and today I'm going to show you how to make a navigation bar using Flexbox only. So I'm here at the code pen. Let me close the JX because we don't need the JS, and I have written simple HTML. So to keep the example very simple, I haven't written the other HTML tags. I have written only nav and a anchor tag and the UL. Most of the websites we have to create a navigation bar. So we want this CSS3 image at the left and home, about, concerts, gallery, contact, login at the right hand side. So I have written here the HTML. So here is all those HTML. I have kept the HTML very simple. Now in order to produce a navigation bar, firstly what we have to do is you need to know the idea of the Flexbox. Before we get started with the CSS Flexbox, I assume that you are already familiar with the CSS Flexbox. Now if you are not familiar, I want you to go to our definite website. I mean, you can just simply Google CSS Flexbox and I hope you will get a lot of resources, but I have a great website, that is CSS Tricks, and this website is really great background study. Now I will provide a link in the description, and the website is CSS Tricks, and you can simply go and do some background study of the CSS Flexbox. Now see, according to the CSS Flexbox, it explains that there are two axes. The first one is the main axis, which is the horizontal one, and the other one is the cross axis, which is the vertical one. Let's get started with writing some CSS codes. So today I will be writing only the CSS codes that are necessary to make this one in the navigation mode. I don't want to confuse you with the other tags. So firstly what we have to do is we have to target this nav from the HTML. So let's target that nav, and one of the most important one for the CSS Flexbox is display. We have to change the display from the normal one to flex. And what it does actually, when you change the display to flex mode, you are actually activating the flex mode. All right. Now if you have noticed that once we changed it to the display flex, it just became in the right side of the image. Let's see if we just eliminate this one. Can you see the difference? Just see the difference. So when we do this one, activating it, we are making this one in the right side. Either you can use either flex or inline flex. Both of them works the same way. But by default, Flexbox makes your main axis as the horizontal axis and the other axis as the cross axis. So we are here. Now let's write another one, that is justify content. Justify content space between. These are actually all set by the CSS Flexbox. So you have, as I said, you have to do some background study of the CSS Flexbox. It won't take much time, maybe like 30 minutes or 1 hour to get the whole idea. So see the difference. Now CSS3 image is at the left side and home, about, all these are at the right side. The first thing is done. Okay. Now second thing, what we have to do is that we always set this display flex only for the parent element. Now this nav was initially from a parent element. Now we want this one, because this one, if you see this one, that nav got two children. First one is anchor tag and the second one is UL, unordered list. Now if you see that inside this unordered list, there are some other children as well. There's li, all this li. So you have to target this UL again and make the display in the flex mode. UL display flex. Okay, that's done. Now the rest of the work is pretty simple. You just increase the margin right to give some decent margin. So I have written it here as well. So I will so if you see this one, let's make it pretty, little bit pretty. So now let's write another one, which is align items. Now what is the purpose of align items? Align items is the one which controls where to align in the cross axis. As I say, guys, don't get confused with the main axis and the cross axis. Okay, cross axis is the vertical axis by default, and the main axis is the horizontal axis by default. So if when we have done this one from align items, you can see that it became a little bit down center. Just see this one. Okay, now let's make the LI a little bit nicer. LI, we give a margin which is at the right side. Let's give it 20 pixel. Let's see, 20 pixel. Okay, that's it. So you have a perfect navigation bar. I assume the rest of the work you can do it by yourself, such as text decoration, then list style. You can just make it to none in order to eliminate all these bullet points. So that's all you need. This is the amount of code that you need to write for the CSS in order to build this navigation bar. I'll be uploading all these codes in my GitHub profile, so feel free to check anytime you want. Thank you. Have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.